A very good morning to everybody present here. I would like to welcome the delegates, guest speakers, Chief Guest Sri Anna Hazare ji, volunteers, Jagruti members, and all the organizations who have supported us in making this event possible. Specifically organizations like UN Global Compact, UN Women, UNICEF, Center for Civil Society, SDG Academy, UN Gender, Right Management, and various other organizations, and the brilliant support from the media. Thank you so much. There are some figures in this world who are larger than life. Anna Hazare ji was born in Ralegaon Siddhi in Maharashtra. He grew up, he fought poverty, he joined the army. He was at a very young age inspired by the philosophy of Gandhi ji, Vinoba Bhave, and Swami Vivekanand ji. He decided never to marry and spend the whole of his life in the social service. Yesterday when I was welcoming him in Hyderabad, he was sharing all these memories of his from his childhood and how he had a dream of making sure that his drought-prone village was converted into a model village. And I'm very proud to have him here because even today, his village in Maharashtra, Ralegaon Siddhi, attracts hundreds of visitors each day. Each day, many buses just land in that village to understand how Anna Hazare ji has created a sustainable model from a drought-prone village. And I would like to thank him for being here because I believe in a true Gandhian spirit, he proved that village economies, despite their challenges, can thrive. And this is what our conference is about. This is the 150th year of birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi ji, and we believe that his vision and his ideologies can create a world which we can make sure to work towards the sustainability and innovation in the world. And I immensely thank Anna Hazare ji once again for being here today. And I will admit, Telangana Jagruti is hosting this conference for a very selfish reason. I would say selfish because I am really not fine. I am not fine with 22,000 children dying every year in this world. I am definitely not fine with the fact that 800 million people go hungry in this world every day. And I am certainly not fine with the fact that we are breathing more and more polluted air as each day passes by. And I am absolutely not fine with the fact that in this modern world, we still have war today. And if we were to survive as a collective human race, if we were to survive, I believe we should end these issues. I believe we should end these global problems. And all of us know in our hearts that these are the problems that we created ourselves. And how can we emancipate the world from these problems is the theme of this conference. And I truly wish the intellectuals, the delegates who are here today will enlighten the rest of the youth and the world order to work towards emancipating world from these problems which we ourselves have created. And when I thought about my contribution as an individual to make sure we do away with these world problems, I figured it cannot be done individually. I figured Telangana Jagruti as an individual organization cannot work towards solving these problems alone. We need to create a network of intellectuals. We need to work with spirited youngsters. We need to identify young leaders, nurture them, and provide them with the material so that they tomorrow can lead the world and free the world from these issues. To me, I believe the 550 delegates who are present here today are the solution to this problem. And as I say that these are the... I did give a very serious thought about these issues, and I found that the only solution is to make sure that the youth of the world is organized together. And there is a necessity for the global youth to collaborate and work together. I would like to share some facts with you before I go further. Today, the world's population is young. About 42% of people are under the age of 25. 1 in 4 people alive today is a young person aged between 15 and 29. There is nearly 1.8 billion in total in this world of the young population. But unfortunately, 90% of this 1.8 billion live in developing countries. So there is huge difference between youngsters who live in developed countries versus the youngsters who live in the developing countries. Now, how do we address these differences? How do we address these parities? And how do we create a level playing field is what we need to really understand and think in this conference. And for instance, the youth mortality rate on an average is 5 times higher in the poorer countries when we think about compare with the rich countries. And even if, say, a youngster survives in a poor country, unfortunately, they cannot have decent education, decent health care, and employment. So how do we, as a collective, as a unit, work towards resolving these issues is the main theme of this conference. And most unfortunate thing today in the world is that some of the youth have to deal with violence on a daily basis in their lives. How do we, as a global community, contribute towards removing violence from the world? These are, I believe, larger than life questions, but can be addressed if we fight it together. And especially for the girls and young women, the future looks particularly precarious. I say this with great sadness because in only 40% of the countries, we have achieved something close to a gender parity in secondary education. In tertiary education, that figure drops to 4% further. And young females are on an average twice as likely as young males to be out of education, to be out of employment, and out of training. And very unfortunately, HIV prevalence rates also are significantly higher among young females. So I urge upon the intellectual community in this conference to focus more on this aspect of the youth development, because after all, youth also means young women, not only young men. So I truly urge the intellectuals in this conference to focus more on young women. And in some aspects, I was speaking about rich and poor nations, but in some aspects, however, the best and the worst performing countries are similar. The issues like unemployment, issues like drug abuse, issues like mental disorder, these rates among the young people are equally worrying in all the nations alike, both rich and poor. So these problems across the globe in both these countries are there, and I believe they are interconnected. And as I mentioned earlier, these are all created by human beings. But the solution to these problems also has to come from the human beings. But as the conference is rightly named, this is a youth leadership conference. And why do we have this conference? Because the people who created these problems were not able to show the solution. We, the current policy makers, are not being able to show the solutions. So I believe the youngsters who have traveled half of the globe, came to this conference, have a fresh look at the life. They have a fresh understanding of the problems. You have a better view of the problems. So I believe the youngsters who are present here today can come up with newer solutions, and that can truly change the world. I believe, as they say, when you change the way you look at the things you look at also change. So I believe this conference can certainly make a very good starting point in addressing these issues. I mean, I'm a policy maker. With the right policies and investment in the youngsters, countries can truly develop and progress. But I would like to share this with you. Today in the world, how many nations are truly investing in youngsters? How many countries have youth policies? How many countries have governments investing systematically in youth policies? I know India has a youth policy, but are we investing as much as we need to invest in our youth? I don't think so. Are any other nations in the world doing that? I don't think so. How does that change? That will only change when the youngsters rise to the occasion, fight for their rights. And how do we individually fight for our rights in every nation? and that is why this conference is held, where I wanted to make sure we give it a serious attempt to create a network of various organizations in every nation, where these youth organizations act as a pressure groups on the governments of each nation to make sure these governments invest on the youth the right amount that is need to be invested. So this is the core of the conference. But I would urge the youngsters present here, do not think that this is too big to achieve. Do not think that this is something undoable, because everything that was done in this world has started with a single step, and this conference can be that one first step to achieve changes in the world. And as you know, human innovation has defied gravity, and we know fundamentally universe itself is limitless. So I believe we can do this, and for those of you who think that this is all very quixotic and very imaginary, I would like to quote Mahatma Gandhi ji. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. So I believe this can be the first step for the youth of the globe to win. And thank you so much for all of you for being here. Thank you. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
హాయ్, నేను మీ లావణ్య. మన TFCC లైవ్ ఛానల్కి సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. అలాగే ఇందులో అప్లోడ్ చేసే ప్రతి వీడియోను లైక్, షేర్ ఇంకా కామెంట్ చేస్తూ ఉండండి. అలాగే ఇక్కడ కనిపించే ఈ బెల్ ఐకాన్ని మీరు ఇలా క్లిక్ చేసినట్టయితే ఇందులో అప్లోడ్ చేసిన ప్రతి వీడియో నోటిఫికేషన్స్ మీకు వచ్చేస్తాయి.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం, నేను మీ గీతా మాధురి. TFCC లైవ్ లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి.
హాయ్, అందరికీ నమస్కారం, నేను మీ మధుప్రియ. ప్లీజ్ లైక్, షేర్, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ టు TFCC లైవ్.
Hi, this is Rashmi Thakur. Please like, comment, share and subscribe TFCC Live.
హాయ్, TFCC లైవ్ ఛానల్కి లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. నేను మీ జువేరియా.
హాయ్ ఎవ్రీబడి, యూట్యూబ్లో సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, వ్యూ చేయండి, ఫాలో చేయండి ఫర్ ఆల్ న్యూస్ అబౌట్ తెలుగు ఫిల్మ్స్. TFCC Live. Don't forget, subscribe and